And they say, this is the show. This is the Wrestling Fans Podcast, hosted by Bang himself, Jason Fast Cage, and the best in the world today. Do you understand what I'm telling you? It's the man Trent Williams. We got another hot show for you. This is the last week going into the Money in the Bank pay-per-view, so we have to give you our predictions. And as always, we bet 1,000, so count on us once again for being absolutely right. We'll talk about NXT. We'll talk about the Cruiserweight Classic. Plus, we have a few items to get to. As always, you can hit us up on Twitter at NTW3589, at Bang himself, and at the official Twitter page for the show at TWF_podcast. You can also hit us up on Facebook at facebook.com/TWF podcast. With that said, we got a lot of show to get to, so let's stop stalling and get into the show. Other than that, we are all good to go. So let me introduce the guy that I call the best in the world, Trent Williams. He is the biggest update out of the upstate. He is the director of the never before seen DVD, I Love Eva Marie, exclusively sold at TrentWilliams.com. He is the current overseer of Paige VanZant. He is the only person I know with a not safe for work Twitter account. But most importantly, he is a wrestling fan. Joining me, another wrestling fan, on the Wrestling Fans Podcast, sponsored by StreamUp.com. Stream all of your entertainment needs from the MLB regular season to the NBA playoffs at StreamUp.com, #entertainment. And now that we got the sponsors out of the way, let me tell you, we would not have this show if it were not for the interesting views of wrestling fans. So thank you for joining the show. And now let's get into the show. We have to cover NXT. That's where we'll start. Then we'll go into Raw. Of course, we're going to give you our predictions for the Money in the Bank pay-per-view, because once again, what we do is bet 1,000. That's just what we do. Of course, there's other craziness happening right now in the world of professional wrestling, including the CWC tournament, the show, all that stuff. I have some things to get off my chest. Trent has some things to get off his chest. But Trent, are you ready to start the show, man?
I'm ready.
Including the fact that we will debut, premiere, expose, reveal our supercard show for the mock draft that we did last week. So Trent, let me start off by saying this. I'm a big wrestling fan. You are as well.
Yep.
On NXT this past Wednesday, it was a regular show coming off of your normal takeover. We started to see some newer feuds, maybe some carryovers from the previous show. What I did notice was the Authors of Pain looked exactly like the Shield on steroids. Now, I don't know what's going on with the WWE's wardrobe department.
Yeah, they sure do like the tactical gear, the SWAT team looking gear.
Right. Maybe they're just sticking with, maybe that works. I don't know. But I've never been to a WWE show where they're selling that at the concession stand.
No.
So, that's just me. Now, they look great. I mean, they're big monsters. They should work well together. Paul Ellering being out there, he's the manager. They're probably going to go far as just a badass team, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, next we have Carmella versus Tessa Blanchard. I still love Tessa. Still like the beat. Everything's going good, right?
Carmella's got a name for a finisher now.
Oh, what is it? What is it?
The Code of Silence.
The Code of Silence.
Yeah, which really don't even fit her gimmick or nothing. It's like she just come up with a name.
Well, I'll be honest, man. I didn't really doze off during this match. I did like the fact that she changed up how she came to the ring a little bit. She almost had the Rocky pose when she does the hottest chick in the ring thing.
Yeah.
That was kind of cool. I still love her finisher. The Code of Silence really doesn't come off the tongue very easily.
No.
But I don't know. This was another and Tessa, obviously they're bringing Tessa up, so the code of silence.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Whatever. This is what I wanted to get to. The next match was TM61 and Blake and Murphy with no Alexa.
No.
Now, if you've ever had vanilla ice cream,
Mm-hmm.
Blake and Murphy are the epitome of that, right?
They are.
I don't know if they're jobbing their way out. They wanted to give it another try or something. Like, I don't know. This was, I don't know. Maybe this was on the pre-show and we didn't even notice it. I don't know. But next, gotta go to the next. The biggest news out of this week, obviously, was Bobby Roode debuting at their digital download show or something like that. To me, it was basically like an NXT house show, almost an NXT type of access show.
Right.
And they showed, well, I mean, they didn't show the match, but they informed us of his debut there, which I would have thought you would have saved it for Full Sail. Obviously, we live in a digital age where everybody knows when, you know, someone debuts.
Right.
I don't know. How do you feel about that, man?
Yeah, I thought, you know, if they're going to make him a big deal, I thought they would have saved it for like a takeover or something like that to debut him.
Yeah, because
I guess they don't want to wait all the way till October now for the next takeover to do it.
Well, you've been slowly getting him in bite-sized doses. First, he was in the crowd. Obviously, he was the next signee. We didn't know when he was going to sign. Then he was at the next takeover, backstage getting coffee, I guess. And then you don't bring him out like Eric Young, having him face Samoa Joe his first night. You have him debut at essentially a house show overseas, I guess. But I don't know. It's a little tricky when you think about how they promote guys in NXT. Yes, they will be a success. Yeah. But their first debut, maybe there's so much thought going into their first debut. They just want to do it a non-traditional way.
Right.
So with that said, we're going to move on to what I personally think was a rematch due to the fact that the match at TakeOver was so short. Yeah. We get Ty Dillinger against Cien Almas, and really good match. I think it went a couple of commercial segments, so it was obviously longer. We still got the same spots that we did at TakeOver, which was cool. Yeah. Him posing in the middle of the ropes. That's, you know, that was cool. And Ty Dillinger, yes, he's a perfect 10. He's still somewhat of a heel, even though everybody likes Ty Dillinger. Yeah. You know, but he's a heel, so him losing really doesn't hurt him. It's just the fact that, you know, everybody likes Ty Dillinger. Yeah. You know, the interest is awesome, right? Yep. So, you know, all right. So the headlining portion.
And I still think Almas needs a new finisher.
Well, it's funny that you say that, because when I watched the TakeOver show, it seemed a little simple, but I think if he gets somewhat of a running start or just adds more velocity to it, it does look a little bit more damaging.
Yeah, but I think it would look even better if he hit him with his knees instead of his crotch.
Well, I don't think he's even, come on. I mean, you don't really hit any. Well, isn't the move? Yeah, the move is in his face. So you're not going to hit him in the face with your knees, even if the move says hit him in the face with your knees. The crotch thing is kind of, I don't know. I would have thought he would have did, or, you know, switch it up a little bit to where it's basically a code breaker. Yeah. But I don't know, man. It's a little weird. Like I said, when Sasha Banks did it, you know, it kind of fit Sasha Banks, but for him to do it, I don't know. Yeah. Maybe he comes up with something else. Well, I mean, he could just call it the crotch shot, right? Yeah. That would be.
I mean, even for him, like a luchador guy, you would think he'd have some kind of like high flying move or something as his finisher.
Dude, that was the thing that I saw about Cien Almas. Remember, I told you I watched the match he had against Shinsuke for one of the IWGP titles. He seems more of a power guy, but flashy. Like he doesn't really seem like a luchador, and his build doesn't really say I'm a luchador. Right. But yeah, I mean, he doesn't really have a lot of Hurricane Ranas and just different types of moves where he's flying all around with effectiveness. But that finisher, you know, it's kind of middle of the road, man. Like, it doesn't really seem like a finisher, but you know, maybe he adds to it. I don't know. Yeah, maybe
it's just I need to get used to it or something.
Right. Do you know what his finisher was before he came to NXT, or was that his finisher?
I don't know.
See, that's the thing I'm curious about, because yeah, he's an attraction, man. But I don't think that finisher, like, I don't think people are waiting for that finisher, like, oh, hit him with that, you know? No. Yeah. So. Okay, now for what everyone saw as spoilers for this show, and what's predicted as the main event for, or at least one of the biggest matches, another dream match going into TakeOver Brooklyn. Do you know if they have a name for the next TakeOver?
Brooklyn.
Is it TakeOver Brooklyn?
Yeah, TakeOver Brooklyn too.
Okay, all right, cool. We get Finn Balor come out to a warm reception. He thanks the crowd. People chant Bullet Club or Balor Club when he asks, hey, what's next for me?
Right.
He does a very good job of just being himself, slow cadence, pretty boring. Let's be freaking honest. And dude, it was the best moment in the world. He's talking. Obviously, the crowd is quiet, and he's saying, "Dude, who's next? What do I have to do next?" And then the man, the myth, the legend, Shinsuke Nakamura comes down. They have a great banter. But the thing that I noticed here, Trent, and back me up on this or tell me if I'm different. Shinsuke comes out. They're talking. They're obviously close, that well, not close, but they know each other. They baiting around.
Right.
The crowd was so into this matchup, this dream matchup, this moment with both of them being in the ring, obviously challenging each other. It was electric. You could feel it. Yes, NXT is smaller. It's in Full Sail, but AJ Styles and John Cena did not get this react.
Right.
And I'm a little worried as to the fact of Shinsuke and Balor will be probably one of the better matches of that weekend.
Right.
They're not going to be at the they're not going to probably be allowed to sell out the Brooklyn Arena. Was it the Barclays Center?
Right.
But they're going to be the best match probably of that night. And John Cena and AJ Styles didn't even get anywhere close to this reaction the first time or on Monday Night Raw. Any concern there that they're basically being one-upped, and not they, but John Cena? Because, yes, I would like to see Cena and AJ.
Yeah.
I would have loved to see it like 5 years ago.
Right. Oh, well, I mean, you have to think with that Full Sail crowd, too, though. It's a more smart crowd, so you're going to get a bigger pop for a match like that. Whereas, with the casual WWE audience, I mean, you're going to have the hardcores mixed in, but a lot of them, don't know AJ as a top guy to be that excited for a top guy against a top guy. And it don't help that he's lost every feud that he's been in since he's debuted.
That is true. That is very true. I don't know. It was just something that I noticed watching the show.
And also, I don't think this feud with Balor and Nakamura is going to take over. I think they're going to do it before then on just a regular TV thing.
Really?
I still think we're getting Joe Nakamura Brooklyn.
I don't doubt you on that. I just feel that you're selling yourself short having Finn Balor and Shinsuke at Full Sail. Yeah. Maybe if this is a network special in Hawaii, like whatever happened to those rumors about Shinsuke facing John Cena in Hawaii?
Yeah,
Brock Lesnar facing Kevin Owens in Hawaii. I think maybe they're going back to Asia in July. Maybe you get Shinsuke and Finn Balor there.
That would actually be the perfect place to do it with their background.
Okay. Like I said, this is what most people would like to see out of the remaining competitors still within NXT vying for that NXT title.
Right.
So maybe, yeah.
And that whole landscape's fixing to change too, because I've been reading that at least 6 to 10 people are supposed to be called up for this draft from down there.
At least 60?
6 to 10.
Oh, okay. Name them.
Well, I would guess it would be Nakamura, Balor, American Alpha, Bailey. I don't know who the other ones could be.
Well, with the emergence of the Authors of Pain, I could see Jason Jordan and Gable going up.
Yeah.
Obviously, Bailey going up. Yeah. You still need to submit maybe a Carmella or some other woman face. But yeah, I mean, those have been on the radar for a while. Not necessarily a shock, but this is what NXT does, man. They make stars. Some of those stars were already made.
Yeah.
But we'll see how they progress. A lot
of people talking about this whole draft and everybody going up the main roster. Nobody's really talking about people doing double duty. I think a lot of these guys could probably do double duty, NXT and the main roster.
Well, even when they did double duty, wasn't it surrounding or didn't they do double duty around like a major pay-per-view? Whatever the next pay-per-view is in July, I don't see them doing double duty.
No.
I see them doing double duty around Brooklyn.
Yeah.
You can obviously work around that. They'll be doing double duty possibly in August. After that, I don't see any double duty. No. If not to go back down to NXT just to job for somebody,
Yeah.
Okay. I think that's all for NXT.
Yeah. That's all I got.
All right. Now moving on to WWE Raw. Gather my notes here. I love that. So this is the last, or this was the last Monday Night Raw before the Money in the Bank pay-per-view, which me and Trent will not be attending.
No.
But I would really like to go, if not just to be in Vegas, just to be honest. Okay, Trent. So quickly run down the card for the Money in the Bank pay-per-view.
All right, so it looks like we might be having 3 kickoff matches. Maybe they move one of these kickoffs to the actual show.
Okay.
They just announced about an hour or so ago that we're getting Golden Truth against Breezango again.
Okay.
We got Sheamus versus Apollo Crews, Baron Corbin versus Dolph Ziggler, Charlotte and Dana Brooke versus Becky Lynch and Natalya, Rusev versus Titus O'Neil for the United States Championship, New Day versus the Club versus Enzo and Cass versus the Vaudevillains for the Tag Team Championship, Sami Zayn versus Cesaro versus Chris Jericho versus Kevin Owens versus Del Rio versus Dean Ambrose in the Money in the Bank ladder match. We got the dream match of John Cena versus AJ Styles with the Bullet Club not going to be at ringside. And then we have Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship.
Okay. All right. Easy enough. Well, let's start with the 4-way for the tag title.
All right. I see New Day's probably going to lose it here. And I don't know, because I think the Club's going to probably win it. Because I think what they're going to do is have, like, the Club, like, be on top for a little while. As far as, like, AJ, I think he'll get at least one win over Cena on the Money in the Bank card. And then have the Bullet Club, the Club as the champion. That way, they can be the big dogs for a while.
Okay, and you've been predicting New Day's gonna lose their titles for a while, so that doesn't come as a shock to me. But on Raw, we got a hilarious promo with the New Day and Big Cass. I do think that the New Day retain here. I still think there's, it's just an advantage having 3 guys. Yeah. Obviously, I was gonna call him Apollo Crews. I don't know why. Why am I drawing a blank here? Who plays the Trump? Xavier. Obviously, I think Xavier is the X factor here. I don't think the Bullet Club, because nobody really gets pinned. So, I don't think the Bullet Club looks any weaker by losing. But obviously, your focus is on the Bullet Club and New Day. Really don't think Enzo and Cass would win it. So I'm picking the New Day, man. I see exactly what you're saying here. I'm just picking the New Day. I don't think the Vaudevillains get it. Let's just be honest about that. But I think the club still looks strong. Still looks very, very strong.
And there might be a chance that Enzo and Cass could get them. But they don't really need them because they're pretty over without them.
Yeah, and we both have stated plenty of times, man. I don't think Enzo and Cass, let's be honest. Like they don't even have a name. Yes, they get dual chants. People are screaming, Enzo, I'm all right. Everybody's on the how you doing. Yep. But it just seems like Enzo can be Cass's mouthpiece.
Yep.
Okay, so you're picking the club. I'm picking the New Day.
Yep.
We're going to jump around here. And let's go to the women's match.
All right.
We got a Paige versus Charlotte match this week on Raw. Paige gets the win due to some flukiness with Dana Brooke. At the pay-per-view, it's a tag match, right? Dana and Charlotte versus Becky with the good hair and Natty.
Right.
Obviously, they've been trying to push this tension with Dana and Charlotte. I still think Charlotte and Dana win and, solidify their bond further and further, getting us to the eventual Charlotte versus Bayley or Charlotte versus Sasha. I'm not giving up hope, Trent.
I'm not. That's what I want to happen, but I don't know. I could see them easily pushing Dana Brooke because they are high on Dana Brooke.
Listen, man, for any company to come out and have the first ever transgender women's champion, I'm really gonna pull for them. Like I support them. I see what you're saying. Obviously, with Dana and Charlotte being in a tag team, the most predictable outcome is for, Dana to turn on her or, cause her to lose the match. And then they start a feud, or, make it a 3-way. I just think that Charlotte and Dana win this match.
Okay. Yeah, I'll go with Charlotte and Dana.
Okay. And I don't want you to, hurt yourself by pulling against Becky with the good hair.
Yeah.
But I'm just
saying. Her and Natalya were terrible on commentary, especially Natalya.
Oh, man. Didn't Natalya start talking about cats?
Yes. Every time she talks, she has to talk about her cat. I swear, you you follow her on Twitter, that's all you see on there is her during cat.
Oh, really? Yeah, I'm trying to get better at Twitter, but I'm not a big follower.
Yeah, you had on there the other day how TJ was taking care of the cat.
Oh wow, I did tweet Danielle Brooke and ask her, is she the big spoon or the little spoon? But that's just me. That's just my humor. I don't know. Oh wow. But yeah, they sucked on it seemed like they just wanted to talk without really I don't know, adding anything to it was terrible. It was
Becky, she's usually good out there on commentary.
Yeah, I don't think they really had a plan. I think it would have worked better if they were opponents, but since they were out there together, it just didn't work.
Yeah,
it just didn't work. Okay. One quick thing.
Yeah,
I said it before. We are going to get this ever-running storyline for applicants for the SmackDown General Manager position. This week we got not the Demon,
Corporate King.
Corporate King. At this point, I'm wondering who's going to apply next. Like I said, People Power could come back, man. Isn't Nikki Bella getting her show with him on it?
Yep.
People Power could come back. Everybody could get free lozenges to clear their throat, but People Power could come back, man. John Laurinaitis.
Huh? I said he needs a lifetime supply of them.
I'm voting for People Power. Or dude, I would love for Adam Lee to come back or just to apply.
Yeah.
If Adam Lee applied, if Bischoff applied, or if, oh my gosh, if Stephanie opened up a package and it was the laptop, I would just laugh. I mean, at this point, it is comical because it's probably going to be Stephanie or Shane, right?
Or Triple H.
Or yeah, like you said, or Triple H.
I'm still sticking with that. I still think it's going to be Triple H.
Okay, and that would make sense considering SmackDown will be almost SmackDown NXT, right?
Right. And nothing, usually in wrestling, when they tease something so hard, they go the other way. They end up going the other way to swerve people.
Right. And we still haven't seen Triple H back on TV yet, so this would be pretty cool. And I don't think Stephanie's denying that she wants the general manager position. So yeah, that would definitely work.
Yep.
All right, well, let's get to a couple of items just to knock off the prediction list. I'm not doing a pre-show, man. I'm not doing a pre-show. You will be watching it, right?
Yeah. I'll go through it real quick. I guess Golden Truth. I'll pick Golden Truth. They really need to do something with Apollo. He really needs to win here.
Right.
And Baron Corbin really needs to win also. And this feud needs to end with them two. My gosh.
You're going against Dolph?
I am.
Okay. I mean, I do have Dolph. Like I was cool with everything that you said, but I do have Dolph. It's not gonna hurt Baron Corbin.
No, if they're pushing this new era thing, and he's one of the new era guys, he needs to come out of this victorious, I feel.
True. I just think that he needs to look strong. And, I don't think he needs to lose by a schoolboy.
No.
But this feud needs to end. I'm just pushing for Dolph. That's it.
All right.
So on the main card, we already went through Charlotte. The next topic up is Rusev versus Titus. I had to watch Raw on Hulu, so I did not even see Rusev and Titus on Hulu.
All right. Titus O'Neil comes out. He's like he's going to be for a match. Rusev attacks him from behind and puts him in the accolade and won't let go. A simple beat down to build up this match.
Okay. You're a Titus guy. Do you see Titus winning?
I am a Titus guy, but I'm not going with him here.
You think Rusev is going to apply the accolade to Titus and retain the title, right?
Yep.
Okay. I got to pull for Rusev on this one. I don't really think Titus is going to win. Maybe they do this again in July. Yeah, because I don't, just having a one-off.
This feels like just a holdover until something else for Rusev.
Yeah, definitely. And we've seen what Titus's role is. I mean, it's a Jack Swagger role. It's a Mark Henry role. It's almost a power guy versus a power guy. Probably be upper card or bathroom break type status.
Yep.
All right, so the next match is the Money in the Bank match. Now, on the show, we had matches pretty much with every single competitor. Kevin Owens is by far the most hilarious person on Raw.
Yep.
I mean, that's just obvious. The one match that stood out to me was Sami Zayn versus Cesaro match.
Wasn't that last week? I thought this week was a 6-man tag on Raw.
Whoa.
Or am I wrong?
Wait. A 6-man tag?
I thought it was a 6-man tag on Raw. No, that's on SmackDown. I'm sorry.
Okay, cool.
I was
Listen, I was making sure I was right. Pretty sure I saw it, but
yeah.
So the match ends with Sammy basically pulling out a Canadian Destroyer out of nowhere, or some version of it. Thought that was pretty cool. Other than that, I just like the ending of the show where you have all of the competitors fighting. Sammy jumps on 5 of them, and Jericho walks up the ladder like the snake in the grass, grabs the Money in the Bank briefcase, and crosses his legs. That was the best part. Drink it all in, man. That's my dude. Who do you think wins this? Is it Jericho? Will it be Kevin Owens? Will it be Sami Zayn, Cesaro, or ADR?
Well, it's definitely not going to be him. I don't see no chance for that.
Really?
No.
Okay. All right. Well, go ahead. And sorry, I totally forgot Ambrose.
Yeah. I don't see ADR. I don't see Jericho. Sami Zayn, I don't think would get it. He's still got to be the underdog. Plus, this also works better if you're a heel, I guess, maybe. I think it's really down to Owens or Ambrose.
Okay, well, I'm with you on Owens and Ambrose, so let's keep it there. Let's move to the main event. We had a very good Ambrose Asylum with all 3 members of the Shield in the ring at the same time. They kept Roman's speaking parts very short, which I said definitely works, and they let Seth be Seth, Ambrose definitely be Ambrose.
Yeah.
At the end of the match, everyone gets into it. Seth pushes Ambrose into Reigns, but in the end, Ambrose Dirty Deeds Rollins. Ambrose Dirty Deeds Reigns. Kind of setting up the fact that, hey, if Ambrose does win the Money in the Bank match, he will be next in line for a shot whenever he wants it. So, with that said, I'm with you, man. I feel it could be Owens. I feel it could be Ambrose. I feel that either of those two will just have the best launching point towards a match. Right now, you got Reigns as champ. Don't really think Reigns is going to lose it for a while. So, no. I'm going Kevin Owens.
Okay. It's one I'm trying to figure out if they're planning on doing this Shield triple threat at SummerSlam.
Well, let me ask you this. Let's say Ambrose wins it. Rollins loses here, a rematch again in July, and then, demands one at SummerSlam. And then Ambrose says, well, hey, I want to cash mine in at SummerSlam, and we get a triple threat that way. Because I think long are the days where the Money in the Bank briefcase holder carries that thing for weeks on end, dude, for months on end. Maybe he cashes it in early. If it's Kevin Owens, I think Kevin Owens keeps that thing for a long time. Maybe at the Royal Rumble he cashes it. But if it's Ambrose, I'm going SummerSlam.
Yeah. Well, and I can also see them setting up the triple threat regardless if Ambrose has it or not, and then maybe have Owens at the end of the night cash in and win it. Then there's a chance they could win it at SummerSlam.
Well, I'm just looking at the projections of the main events. Obviously, Seth isn't going to win on Sunday. That's pretty freaking obvious.
Right.
He's obviously not going to win it in July. The first chance that he would, or anyone else would be at SummerSlam. That's when something could happen.
Right.
So honestly, man, I'm thinking Kevin Owens just because it's the Kevin Owens show, man. Monday Night Raw is basically Kevin Owens. If he has the Money in the Bank briefcase, it's just something he can hold over everyone else's head and carry that puppy for a while. Is he going to cash it in? He's the typical guy. I mean, it usually goes to a heel anyway.
Yeah.
So
give me Owens too. I'll take Owens.
All right, cool. So we got Owens as the Money in the Bank winner. Then that leads us right into the main event. We'll save AJ and Cena because obviously I have issues with that. Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins. Like I said, I don't think Reigns is going to lose it.
No.
But who do you have winning here?
Reigns.
Okay, with that said, this is another, it's not the big four. I've heard rumors that they're trying to make it part of a bigger four, maybe a bigger five, I guess.
Yeah.
With that said, man, somebody has to debut, right? This is another type of transitional pay-per-view. Maybe Bray comes back. Maybe Randy comes back. Maybe someone gets called up just randomly.
Right.
I'm pulling for Rollins, but obviously Reigns not going to lose. I would just like to see some type of ending to the show with Roman Reigns not getting booed.
Yeah, I think we might be seeing Bray come back.
You think he would make a splash similar to how Rollins did, at the very end of the show?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Because we're getting into the era where, Reigns is still getting booed, but they're covering it up. And with this being a type of pay-per-view, having Bray, that would definitely look good. So I'm gonna put you down for Reigns. And the last match, man, we got to get to it. It's the dream match. It's the one match that everyone's talking about. Cena versus AJ Styles. On Raw, we had a contract signing, like you said, and Cena basically, forces AJ to sign the contract that states that the club can't come down to ringside or can't be involved whatsoever.
Right.
I still got AJ Styles winning with the help of the club to set up another match later where Cena probably wins.
Yeah, I see AJ winning too.
Okay. All right. That was easy.
But it'd be interesting if they do it where, although Balor's still a face in NXT, have Balor be the one to interfere since Gallows and Anderson came.
Look at this guy. Look at this guy's wheels spinning in his head. That's a very wow. I like that one.
But I don't know if they would want, because that if he helps AJ, that would make him a heel. I don't know if they'd want to make him a heel on the main roster with him still being a babyface on NXT.
Well, you could have him come out and help AJ and just not be seen from again. Because we're both looking at this match from the standpoint of there's going to be interference.
Yeah.
If AJ wins, there's going to be interference. And then Cena will, bitch and whine or whatever and get a rematch. So even if Finn comes out, he's probably going to come out to an ovation like nobody else and then just go back to NXT.
Yeah.
That could be a possibility. And when the draft happens, Cena could be looking out for the guy that cost him the match.
Yeah.
But that's very creative thinking on your part, Trent.
Or could we be wrong and he just lets AJ go over clean like you did Kevin Owens last year?
Dude, I think you almost had to last year. Like, I think you had to. Like, this thing with AJ, like I said before, money's a funny thing, man. AJ could say, hey, I want Cena and I'll lose to him, but pay me. But man, if he loses again, it's gonna suck. I just don't see him cleanly beating John Cena. I would love for there to be a reason that Cena wants another rematch at the next pay-per-view instead of getting just clean beat.
Yeah.
Because Kevin Owens was riding a wave. He was the NXT champion.
Yeah.
AJ's been on a losing streak, 3 or 4 straight pay-per-views.
Right.
And he's with Buddy. So, we'll see. But so for the tag match, we have for the 4-way, I got New Day, you got the club. For the women's tag match, we both have the heels winning. We have Rusev winning, which is another heel. We have AJ winning, which, he's a heel, but people still might cheer based on whatever happens. And then we think that Reigns will still win, but the show will go off the air with somewhat of a positive note or like a shocking note, right?
Yep.
Okay, my friend, we are done with Raw. And before we go on to anything else, let's talk about some things outside of these two shows. Now, let's see. I didn't send you the link, but I watched TNA Slammiversary last night.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you are a TNA fan or a viewer.
No.
Okay. Well, let me even ask you this. Did you hear any of the gossip or rumors about the match between Jeff Hardy and his brother, Matt Hardy? Did you see anything surrounding that?
I seen the build-up video that everybody was talking about.
Right. The craziness where Jeff comes to the house and Matt has crazy hair and they're just, whatever. Okay. So that, although that was crazy, that added some elements to that match. So when I watched it last night, I really just wanted to watch that match, which I saw that match, by itself. If anybody's on YouTube, TNA is really pleading for viewers right now because that's out in full. No blocks, no copyright, nothing, dude. Like, it's out there, not under some mysterious name, G572841L. If you type in TNA Slammiversary, full, maybe you have to add full, boom, you got it. So that match was a match that I watched, and then I said, well, hey, the next link says just watch the entire thing. I watched the entire thing. I've always been a fan of TNA from the outside looking in. One thing that I did notice, and I noticed it a while back, they have a team called the Decay.
Yeah.
It's Abyss. It's this guy named Crazy Steve, and I forgot there's a female too. I forgot her name. Who?
Rosemary.
At first, it was just Crazy Steve and Rosemary, with the almost Jokerish type makeup, but just almost like Vampiro type Jokerish makeup. And they would come down to the ring, walking like zombies, kind of in sync, almost like a Thriller video. Let's be freaking honest. But then they got with the Abyss, and I've liked them from day one. I just like the gimmick when it's done right. Everybody can try to do the funny Joker gimmick like Sting tried to do, but I like it when they're just talking about riding corpses and making it look kind of evil. So the best part about them, man, is the Marilyn Manson track that they have. I think the song is like Nobody's Wanting to Be Somebody's. It fits them, man. They're the tag champs. Can't say enough about the Decay. Really like the Decay, always like the Decay. This Matt and Jeff match was cool. It was a very hardcore match. They pulled out everything, man. Keyboards, they pulled out ladders. It was something to watch. And hopefully it was a finale to whatever their feud is. The rest of the pay-per-view, I really couldn't care less. The reason why is TNA has always had this issue. Okay. At one point in time during the Christian Cage, Jeff Jarrett, Kurt Angle, Samoa Joe, AJ Styles, even Christopher Daniels era, they had the best. They had the best roster. Period. Oh, yeah. They had the best. Yeah, they had the best roster. They had the best talent. But they've always struggled in this aspect: camera angles and, well, let's just say production. Yeah. Okay. They've always struggled in that area. And what I mean by that is, when I'm watching the pay-per-view last night, yes, things are choreographed. Yes, things are rehearsed. And yes, you don't need to go 100 miles per hour, but the timing of things is off so badly that you need a better production crew to hide that. And I'm not saying, like, I'm not pointing fingers at any particular performer, but when you have females in there, when you have guys in there, a clothesline should not take 10 seconds, or like the fake clothesline, the fake punch, the stagger, the days, that shouldn't take 10 seconds for you to fall into the ropes, or bounce off the ropes, or hit somebody with it takes too long. And I'm not saying that everyone doesn't work at that rate, but if you have better production, you can hide that, show a different angle to, recover from the lack of speed. If you switch the camera, like if you're watching NXT, especially if you're watching Raw, they're changing that camera angle like almost every 3 seconds, man. Like it is that fast to where you're seeing it from a different angle, just so obviously it gives a better production, but you also hide, people pulling their punches, not connecting, talking to each other, things like that. Yeah. But man, TNA is bad, man. It's just
their production is the least of their worries.
Well, here's what I did like about TNA. Last night, I didn't know half of that roster. Yeah. I do like the fact that NXT is giving us all of the indie stars that we wanted before, and that's cool. ROH still has guys that we still love, and that's cool. But for TNA to be, they're not number 2 anymore, but they have to be considered above the indies, I guess. But there's nobody on that roster that I knew of. Hopefully they're making stars. I didn't see any, but hopefully they're making stars. If they just got their production together, man, it would have been awesome. Last note, because I'm rambling on TNA. At the end of the Matt Hardy, Jeff Hardy match, apparently Jeff Hardy does this victory lap now where he goes around the ringside area, claps hands, shakes hands, takes selfies, right? Yeah. There are no kids there. And just going around the ringside area, shaking hands. He should be kissing babies, but there's no babies there. There are no hot girls there.
It's all men.
It's not even men, it's moms in their 40s. It's grandmothers. He's going around shaking hands to grandmothers. Yes, you're gonna get the typical male wrestling fan. I totally get that. But for a pay-per-view that I think this is their WrestleMania, I think.
No. Bound for Glory is their WrestleMania.
Sorry. Okay. Well, this I think this is one of
their SummerSlam, I guess.
Yeah, there you go. No one's there, first of all. And then you don't have any hot chicks whatsoever. So TNA, outside looking in, man, you got work to do.
Yeah. I'm surprised there's not more guys there, because they probably hoping for another match like at Shelly Martinez and who she was wrestling that night. Did you ever see that video? Did we ever talk about that?
What happened? No. I definitely listen. You should know and I should know. I definitely know who Shelly Martinez is.
Yes, I like Shelly. So they have this match. They do like the one night only pay-per-views where they're not like a big pay-per-view. It's just like they take a bunch of stuff. Well, anyway, there's this match between her and somebody else, and the entire match is worked on private area, and her opponent is puts her in some kind of submission hold or something, and out loud Shelly Martinez is screaming, "My vag, my vag, my vag." I mean, it was the craziest thing I've ever seen, and
Listen,
the match terrible.
I was drinking water on mute and I almost like spit it out.
Oh, you need to go find the match and watch it. You'll laugh your butt off.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hopefully that was a gem for all you listeners out there. But
I was listening to the podcast and they was talking about it. I said, okay, I don't watch TNA, but I have got to go find this and see how bad it really is. And it was terrible.
For all our female listeners and viewers, once this is on YouTube, do you call it your vag? Just throwing it out there. But wow, yeah, that's funny, man. I did not know that. I'm a big fan of Shelly Martinez and all her assets. Wink, wink.
Yes. Well, her assets. I don't know how her assets stayed in what she was wearing in that match either.
Okay. Well, immediately after this show, I need you to send me the link.
All right.
And I'm going to do my research and we will report it on the next show. Very, very good. Wow. Wow. Very good story, Trent. Very good story.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
That's TNA, ladies and gentlemen.
And the name alone, they still haven't changed that name. Like at first they were trying to do this.
The name.
What?
The Aerolux thing bought out the name TNA.
Jeez.
Yeah. Oh, and there's more. I don't think they were even gonna be able to do the pay-per-view because they couldn't pay the people to somebody. They had to get money, and their COO and CFO was actually going on Facebook trying to find people to give them money. And Billy Corgan actually had to pull money out of his own pocket to pay so they could do the show.
Yeah, he was on the show. I think he's like a general manager or whatever they try to make him. But yeah. It's sad.
Well, he's now one of the minority owners.
Here's the thing. I really want TNA to survive. I definitely want all of the guys working there to have successful careers.
Yeah.
But man, they just need to fix some stuff, man. They just need to fix some stuff. Because dude, nobody was there. Nobody was there. And
as good as their in-ring product is, the stuff that dooms them is the business stuff, their poor business, the choices that they make and stuff. I mean, it's comical, really.
And this isn't a dump on TNA day, but you're right, man. It's not the wrestling.
No.
Like, it's not the wrestling at all. It's everything that goes outside of the wrestling. Just trying to market yourself better, to have more people watch your product, and to have freaking people at your show. I mean, my gosh, man. I'm telling you, nobody was there. And, to me, that's a bad sign. Okay.
Moving on.
Yeah, moving on. Now, let's not talk about TNA any freaking more. Let's talk about some happenings within WWE. This morning, I woke up to what I thought was a joke. And it's still... I'm going to make a joke out of it, but Jerry Lawler was involved in a domestic dispute. Let's just say that, and he has now been suspended by the WWE. Obviously, they don't want any stink on their name.
No.
But the cops don't really know who to charge because it's more he said, she said stuff.
They took them both to jail.
Right. Jerry Lawler, 66. I think the chick, which is his fiance. They've been living together for like 5 years. He's like 29. So shout out to Jerry Lawler, first of all.
Yeah, for real.
Now there's two different sides of the story. Obviously, you can look it up. The thing I thought was funny was Jerry Lawler says they had an argument because he was trying to figure out where she was. She didn't tell him where he was, whatever. And she's drunk.
Yeah.
She then scratches his face and kicks him in the groin area, or knees him in the groin area, I think.
Yeah.
And threatens to kill herself, and somehow a gun gets involved and is placed on the counter.
Right.
I'm not even worried about what her story is because I started laughing. The reason I thought this was a rumor because isn't that the eye rake?
Yeah.
Like I thought this was I said a rumor, but a false story because that's that's a heelish move. It's the eye rake. Of course, Jerry Lawler would be caught in a situation where his girlfriend or his fiance eye rakes him and then knees him in the groin. I was reading and thinking that could be a finisher.
Yeah.
So if Jerry Lawler is out there listening to this show, you booked a hell of a match in which both parties go to jail. Trent, do you have anything to add to the story?
No, but hopefully this means we can get Corey Graves up on SmackDown as an announcer.
Yeah, that was the first thing I thought too. When I realized it was real. To me, it was just too convenient. You got the draft happening. NXT's obviously going to be on SmackDown. Corey Graves is right there. So
yeah. Here's something else to laugh about on this thing. You know, he was wrestling from the night before, and you know what the name of the event was that he wrestled at? A Night at the Slammer.
This is too easy, man. Like I said, when I read it, I'm like, it can't be. This is not real. This is not. The funny thing, the reason I really thought that it wasn't real was I thought Jerry Lawler lived in Tampa or like Florida.
No.
And this was in Connecticut. So I'm like, what the hell is?
I thought this was in Tennessee.
Wow. The link I got pointed me to Connecticut every single time.
I'm seeing Memphis.
Okay. Yeah, it was some kind of Connecticut type thing. So I don't know. Like I said, I read it a bunch of times and just thought it was fake, so I didn't really attention to it.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Jerry Lawler.
Jerry freaking Lawler. Shout out to Jerry Lawler.
This, and it's not him going for girls that are underage, which he's been in trouble with, sort of, or was accused of, that he got out of in the past.
Wow. Everybody needs love, though, Trent.
Yeah.
Everybody needs love. Moving on. What's the other news we can talk about real quick?
WWE, they're talking about after the brand split, they want to do 2 pay-per-views a month, except for the Big 4, which would be Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, SummerSlam, and Survivor Series. So we're looking at more pay-per-views.
Here's the thing that I was trying to figure out before. What was the schedule they had when they had the separate shows? Did they do did they do the joint Big 4 and then alternate every other month?
They did that for a while, and then eventually they were all on all the pay-per-views.
Okay. Yeah, you would just have 2 heavyweight matches. You would have 2 tag team matches. Okay. Yeah. I just don't want it to make the product bland.
Right.
You know, yes, you're still paying $9.99 or free if you're watching it on Cody. But 2 pay-per-views, does it make sense? Yes, because they're 2 entities. Does this help NXT? You know, maybe we get more NXT matches on SmackDown.
Yeah.
That was the one thing I thought about, because I just don't believe that they're gonna have a solely main roster pay-per-view for each show.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at it, if they did that, that's gonna be like over 20 specials, and that's counting NXT.
Right. That I understand that you need content for the WWE net, but that's overkill. I mean, let's look ahead. You'll have a pay-per-view on a Sunday. We'll have Raw on Monday. We'll have SmackDown on Tuesday. We'll have NXT on Wednesday. Yep. We'll probably start doing the shows on Thursday, let's be honest. But then you'll have another pay-per-view maybe 2 weeks after that. And the emphasis then of that week will be on SmackDown, which I get. Like I totally get. I don't know, man. I just think it's overkill. I just think it's overkill. Yeah. Especially when you get into the football season. Yeah. It's going to be tough to have 2 pay-per-views that people are watching or, spending their $9.99 and actually viewing this stuff when football's on. Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. I don't think it's the right move.
No, I don't either.
I don't think it's the right move, but we'll see, man. Well, with that said, let's talk about the CWC, the Cruiserweight Classic. Yep. Is that what it is? You don't have to list the entire participants, but dude, I originally thought this was tailor-made for a big name to get showcased and to eventually get on the main roster, for them to have a show, something. Yeah. So when I saw names like Jack Sabre Jr. and when I saw Cedric Alexander, who just left ROH, I thought those 2 names kind of jumped out as, not the biggest names on there, but the names that you could build this division around, and where I could see 2 athletes going further within WWE. Yeah.
Let me first just kind of quickly go through the ones that are probably lesser known real quick. Okay. We have Arya Daivari, which is the brother of Sean Daivari. We have Jason Lee. He's from Hong Kong. We have Damian Slater, who's Australian. Alejandro Saez from Chile. Raul Mendoza, who competed in AAA and Pro Wrestling Noah. We have Sean Maluda, and he's the nephew of Wild Samoan Alpha. My gosh, how many Samoans do we need on one roster? We have Anthony Bennett. He trained in the Monster Factory, and he has very tall hair. We have the Godfather's favorite wrestler in this whole Cruiserweight series, Ho-Ho Lun. We have Fabian Aigner. He's from Italy. Clement Pitoa, something like that. He's French. He was trained by Lance Storm and Joey Ryan. Zumbi. He's from Brazil. He's wrestled in AAA and CMLL. Kenneth Johnson, a black guy that, by his picture, kind of looked like Sammy Davis Jr.
Listen, man, you gotta hold up with the black guy, comments, man. Come on. It just doesn't sound good when you say it.
What?
So, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. It just doesn't sound good. It doesn't sound racist. Let me say that. Okay. It just doesn't sound good. Continue.
We have the Mac, who's from Germany. We have Noam Dar, who is Israeli and Scottish. First Israeli wrestler. Jack Gallagher and Harv and Gerv Shira, who are the Bollywood boys, who are actually the current Global Force tag team champions.
Yeah. Those guys I would think would have an interesting role in this tournament. But yeah, continue.
Oh, that's all the ones that I don't know who they, I've never really seen them much.
Okay. Yeah, I think like Brian Kendrick was in this.
Yeah, I was just getting to them. They're in the ones I know.
Okay.
They rated them in the 2 categories.
Yeah, obviously. What is this, man? Is it a tournament? Is it going to be a weekly show? I know everyone was doing preliminaries, I guess, to actually get down to this list. But what is this, man?
Yes, 32-man single elimination tournament. It's going to be over 10 weeks, so it'll start July 13th and it should end sometime around September.
Okay. You think it could be exclusively on SmackDown, like one match a week or something?
It'll be on the network. It's going to come on after NXT.
Oh, okay. Well, hey, all right, cool. That'll be interesting. That'll be very interesting. And you said it'll continue for about 10 weeks?
Yeah.
Okay. That'll be something to check out for people who really haven't seen these guys but heard the names. But like I said, with anything that involves the WWE, it's already determined as to who will go the farthest. My money's on Zack Sabre Jr. against maybe Cedric Alexander at the end. We'll see.
I think it's going to be Zack Sabre Jr. against Kota Ibushi.
Okay, yeah, right. Yeah, that was another top name that I saw there. That was another. Okay.
Right.
Right.
We have Grand Metallic, who is otherwise known as Mascara Dorado, who's really good. He's a Mexican guy that was in New Japan for a while. We got Tajiri.
Yeah, I saw that. That's what I was saying on when we spoke offline about like veterans in this thing. Just to, I don't know, give them that one shining moment. Like I think some of these guys are from PWG, right?
Yeah.
And that's it like that's Brian Kendrick's spot. Cool, right?
Yeah.
So, it kind of makes sense. Maybe Tajiri was training some of the guys from Japan. I don't know. But we'll see what role those guys play, because we know they're not going to go far, but they can still get a pop from the crowd here and there.
They'll at least probably get like a first round win. They'll probably go out in like the second round. Right.
Like I said, I'm interested to see the Bollywood boys, Cedric Alexander and Zack Sabre Jr.
Yeah. And other notable names, we got Akira Tozawa. He was the top guy in Dragon Gate. TJ Perkins, a guy that's been around the indies for a long time. He was he's been in TNA and stuff. Rich Swann, he's in it. Drew Gulak from Evolve, Lindsay Dorado, who works Chikara a lot, and Tyson Dukes, who is from Canada, and he's been around for a long time too.
Cool.
Yep.
It'll be
at first they had this thing called it was the Global Cruiserweight series, and I think they should have stuck with the global part, because my goodness, they got people from all over.
Yeah.
Some of these places I didn't even know they had wrestling.
The Cruiserweight Classic, I don't know. It just doesn't have the same appeal as the Global Cruiserweight Series,
Yeah.
The Cruiserweight Classic sounds like a tennis match. I don't know. That's just me.
But yeah, we got, I wrote it down. We got 3 from Japan, 2 from Mexico, 5 from the UK, 11 from the US, 1 from Germany, 1 from Brazil, 1 from France, 1 from Italy, 3 from Canada, 2 from China, 1 from Chile, and 1 from Australia.
Well, that's a good mix. That's a great mix of different styles. You don't want to have... This is what you don't want to have. You don't want to have a cruiserweight series and instantly have people thinking of luchadors, flips and flip. You don't necessarily need that. So you don't need a roster or list of participants where they all come from Mexico.
Yeah.
You would definitely love to have a just an eclectic mix. So having people from Japan, from Mexico, from Britain and Germany, it's going to add to it, man. Now, I'm just interested to see how this is displayed on the WWE network, whether these guys can talk, whether they, have some charisma. Obviously, they are names. Some of them are lesser known.
Right.
But you would like to see everyone get their shine here, you know?
Right. I'm surprised they left out a couple of people. People like Andrade Almas and the Lucha Dragons and Tyler Breeze.
Well, that was the thing that we talked about before when we really didn't know how this series was going to develop. We thought, you know, they're bringing back the cruiserweights. Maybe that's going to add a title to a show. Maybe they could get some of their guys, you know, 205 and lighter in there, like an Austin Aries, like you said, like the Lucha Dragons. Get them in there. But this could be just a launching point for that next wave of superstars. Obviously, they're bringing in guys that, you know, will probably go through NXT anyway and make a name for themselves. They're giving them a division. If you're the champion after this, or the trophy winner, like, I don't even know what they get. Do they? I don't know.
They ain't even said what they get if they win it.
Like, are you on the main roster? Do you will the top 8, top 10 go up to the main roster? You know, stuff like that. It'll be very interesting to see how they move forward with this, because essentially it's almost like a King of the Ring, if you will.
Yeah.
But like I said, my money's on Zack Sabre Jr. I heard that they wanted Will Ospreay also.
Right.
But
and Amazing Red too, but he got injured.
Now the deal with Ospreay was he was already in New Japan, and with all the, you know, with the cluster that they had with New Japan, you know, signing all their talent, New Japan wasn't going to budge. So, you know, maybe we'll see Ospreay in a couple of years.
Yeah, as great as this lineup is, I mean, imagine if they did have guys like Ospreay and Ricochet and some of those guys.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely want to give people a great steak dinner, but you want them yearning for more.
Right.
And I think they have a solid list of participants that people want to see, that people will be interested in seeing. And, you know, some of the talent will maybe go above and beyond what you thought they were going to give. So it'll be a good show, I guess. We'll have really good matches, and it'll just bring a different flavor to the WWE network, because I'm not watching Breaking Ground over and over and over and over. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you're on the network, is there like a current schedule, or do you just watch what you want to watch?
Yeah, it does have a schedule where you could go and dance and stuff, but I usually don't. I usually just go find whatever I want to watch that way. Okay. Yeah, because the network is still at a point where it's WWE Netflix, because they don't have enough content to have, you know, an 8-hour block of original shows daily. You're tuning in when Raw's on, you're tuning in when SmackDown and NXT's on, and now you'll tune in outside of Camp WWE, but now you're tuning in for the CWC. Yep. Okay, cool. Makes sense. Everyone out there is doing the same thing. At a certain point, they should get content, man. Swerve, WWE Game Night. Is that stuff on there? Holy Foley. Yeah, well, Holy Foley ain't debuted yet. Coming in August.
Okay. Okay. I don't know why Up, Down, Down is Up, Down, Down on there?
No.
Wow. Okay. Well, sooner or later, they're going to have to get a list, at least for like a primetime block.
Yeah.
Like an after 5 block, like after 6 block.
Right.
That'd be cool.
Yep.
All right, Trent. So let's talk about your little treat. My little treat was going to be Sasha Banks on the show, but I couldn't make that happen.
Oh, well. Well, so I figured the last 2 weeks you've been aggravating me about Paige VanZant, and you gave me a pop quiz last week.
I did.
And I didn't have any answers. Well, I went and done some research.
Wait. Did you get off the schmaz? Did I use that in the sentence correctly?
I don't think you did.
Oh, sucks. I suck. Go ahead.
So yeah, I done some research, and I found out some stuff about her instead of she just looks good. So her real name is Paige Slayton. She was born in Dundee, Oregon, but was raised in Dayton, Oregon. Her parents own a dance studio. Let's see what else.
I think that came in handy. Her being on Dancing with the Stars. Okay.
You asked me what her nickname was in the UFC. Is 12 gauge.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. She won an amateur fight at the age of 18 and made her pro MMA debut in September 2012. She was 2 wins, 1 loss in her pre-UFC fight. Let's see what else. Okay, so her total fight record, I think this is just UFC, is 6-2-0, which is 1 KO win, 2 submission wins, and 3 decision wins. She's only had 1 submission loss and 1 decision loss. She fights out of Sacramento, California. So I got that right. She's 22 years old. She's the 2nd youngest female fighter currently in the UFC.
Yeah, 22? Ooh, okay.
And let's see if there's anything else.
And she's smoking hot.
Yeah, she's smoking hot. Yeah, that's number one. And she also got a Reebok deal. She signed a sponsorship deal with Reebok, and it caused controversy and criticism because she had only had one fight at the time. But Dana White shot the criticisms down as he said she received the deal because of her it factor and personality.
I mean, she's marketable, man. I mean, you can't, dude. Everybody on the UFC roster got some kind of deal, but obviously she's marketable. So
yeah,
what are you gonna knock her for that?
The past week or so.
Say that again.
She's been in Mexico for the last week or so.
Listen, I'm gonna need you to stop trolling.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
She's been posting pictures of her out in her little bikini and stuff.
Wow, this guy. Wow. Trent, I'm happy for you, man. Like I'm definitely proud that you found out some actual facts other than bra size and hotness factor, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was good. You know, it got you out of your normal rhythm of trolling her on Twitter.
Yep.
And copying pasting all her photos into your computer. You know, secretly writing emails and then not sending them, just saving them in your drafts.
Yep.
And you know, it was really hurting your DVD sales of the I Love Eva Marie series because you really weren't devoting a lot of your time to your work, to your original passion. So right. I'm glad that you could step away from that and, you know, do your due diligence, man. I'm proud of you.
Yeah. And I'm sure if I go and do enough research, I could probably find out more about Eva Marie.
Listen, we're at that point, we're at that apex where we need guests on the show. I want Eva Marie on the show. I want Paige VanZant on the show. And I definitely want the boss Sasha Banks on the show. Email us. Tweet us. You can tweet Trent at
MTW3589.
You can tweet me at Bangham South. Trent, our Facebook page is what?
TWF_podcast.
That's the Twitter. That's the Twitter. Facebook is No, I did the order wrong. My bad, dude. My bad.
You messed me up.
You can tweet us at the official you can tweet us at the official Twitter. Oh gosh. For the show, the Wrestling Fans Podcast, our official Twitter page is at TWF_podcast. You can hit us up on Facebook. Trent, what's the Facebook URL?
Facebook.com/TWF podcast.
And the email address is
TWFpodcast@gmail.com.
Use those. Hit us up on Twitter. Hit us up on Facebook. IG might be coming soon, and I'm syncing all of the episodes and putting them on YouTube for your viewing or listening pleasure, as well as looking at the pod or listening to the podcast their normal way. So thank you guys for joining.
Oh, one last thing.
Go ahead.
Before you close out, this is not wrestling related. If you're a fan of reality shows and you're a fan of Big Brother, please check out my blog that I just recently wrote, where I preview the new cast for Big Brother 18 that starts June 22nd. You can find that at bb18cast.blogspot.com.
So you're a Big Brother guy.
I am a Big Brother. I'm a big brother guy.
You're not a Bachelorette or Bachelor guy though.
No.
Okay. What draws you into the
Survivor, Amazing Race?
Okay. So wait. Are you a CBS fan? Is that what you're saying?
The reality shows I am.
Okay. I just noticed a pattern there. I don't. Yeah. Is this a Mark? Is it Mark Burnett?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
No. It's not a Mark Burnett. Survivor is a Mark Burnett.
Okay. What's your fascination with Big Brother?
I've been watching it since season 2. I don't know. I just get into it. It's one of my shows, my guilty pleasure, I guess you can call it.
No, I'm totally cool with that. Do any of the participants on Big Brother go on to do other things? Like, is this a launching point for them to get into movies, get into other TV shows and stuff? Okay, it's just a
well, they might go from Big Brother to Amazing Race or Survivor. They might go to one of the other CBS reality shows.
Okay, all right, cool. Hey, that's awesome, man. I was just curious as to why Big Brother versus like The Bachelor, but you might be a CBS guy. I mean, that's just what it is.
Well, no, because I do watch Dancing with the
but that's not necessarily a reality show, though. I mean, it's a competitive show, but.
That was Big Brother.
Big Brother is a reality show with the same type. Big Brother is Survivor, but instead of an island, you're in a house.
Right.
Yeah, I mean that's just what it is. So
and it lasts longer, and you can watch it 24/7.
And that's the sick part. That's what draws you in. That's what draws you in, Mr. Troll.
Nah.
Oh man. Do you have a favorite so far?
Not this season yet.
Is there a
Well,
hot pick?
I see for this season they're rumoring that there's going to be 4 people from a past season that are coming back, and there's a girl in there. Her name's Nicole, and I liked her on her season, and she's probably my top Big Brother crush that I've ever had.
Where is she on the hot chick factor?
She's up there.
Okay. All
She's
right, cool.
more of like the cute, kind of nerdy girl.
Cute, kind of nerdy. Okay. Cute, kind of nerdy girl that you want her to take her clothes off, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, all right.
I'll send you a picture of her on the messenger.
I'm pretty sure you have a picture already on Twitter. Is she fully clothed in this picture?
Yes, she is. No, I don't think I have one of her on Twitter.
All right. Okay. All right. Well, while Trent. I sound like Tweety Bird. What is it? While Trent sends me that picture, just want to thank you guys for joining. It's been a great show. We got another show to do, and we're going to get to that now. So thank you guys.